Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video, and we're here going through our fantasy teams. Once again, I'm joined by my lovely friend Olivia Buzaglo. Liv, it's amazing to have you on again. I'm so happy we're doing this. Like, finally, I'm being consistent with the videos. So
yeah, I'm happy as well because I've been so busy and I need to make more time for it. So I'm glad that we've been able to do a couple in a row, and hopefully we can carry on.
Yeah. So I have spent the past, well, I've spent a couple of hours putting together some cool graphics. So I'm hoping that they present well. Like
Now
when
we're about to find out.
We're about to find out. Yeah. So I'm going to change our background here. Let's see. Oh, I was going to post on Twitter. I have the tweet already. So I've posted that. And all right, let me see like what this, I don't know how to work this. Oh no, that's not going to work. Okay. Hold on. Having technical, okay. Share screen. I'm going to share this. Can you see my screen?
It's just loading.
You should be able to see. Okay. And if I do like a slideshow like this, I think that should. Oh, it's worked. Yes. I think it's worked. Okay. Fingers crossed that this works, guys. Bear with me. I'll be checking the comments to kind of see, if it's staying like this. But Liv, first I wanted to go through your Game Week 25 team. How did you do? Did you end up taking any hits? How did you feel about your team?
Yeah, I basically I took a -4 and I was so close to taking a -8. Do you remember I was literally so like, do I take out Saka and do I take out Martinelli and put Saka in? Now I'm so glad I didn't, just because it would have been taking a -4 for no reason, because over the 2 game weeks, Martinelli like smashed it. He scored 2 goals yesterday, scored a goal in their first game of the game week. So I think I am going to get Saka in for this week because I'm missing out now. I just need to think like how far I would have been ahead had I have had both of them. So I am probably going to I'm going to keep Martinelli, I think, for this week. And maybe look to put Saka in as well. But overall, I think I did okay. The double Chelsea defense, I just really had no option because of my other 3 players in my team weren't playing. Ben White, obviously Arsenal. Tarkowski, I bought him in on the -4 and just awful. Martinelli and Salah saved me yesterday. When Saka scored that goal and got an assist, I was thinking, oh my gosh. And then when I saw Liverpool went 1-0 up and it wasn't Salah, I was like, oh. And then he scored to make it 2-0. I was like, thank God, because everyone I know captained Saka. So I needed something from Salah. I needed something. And to think I only played with 10 players this week. So I was pretty happy with 81 points with 10 players. Haaland and Nketiah, Darwin's annoying, but I will be looking to probably get him out and Salah out in the next few. But yeah, overall, I'm pretty happy with 81 points considering I played with 10 players.
Yeah, I was kind of in a similar situation. So I'll go to my team. You should be able to see on your screen now, hopefully.
Yeah.
Yes. Cool. So this was my team. I took a -8 and I feel so stupid about this. And actually the transfer that I was like hell-bent on bringing in Tarkowski and Gakpo. I can't say his name. And I happened to bring in Trent, and he was the only one that actually did well for me in my team. And the other 2, like, I think that so many of us just got on the Tarkowski train, and I was convinced that Everton were going to be keeping clean sheets, and it was just terrible. I had Kepa in goal, and I might be looking to, whenever I wildcard, I think I might be looking to change the goalkeeper. I'm not quite sure yet, but but Chelsea haven't been keeping clean sheets. Trent, I was surprised that Liverpool actually kept clean sheets. Ben White, I captained Saka, so when Salah scored yesterday, I was like, oh no, that means that I'm going to lose some of the advantage that I gained. And then I had Gafko that did nothing, Odegaard who scored, and I was thinking, oh, should I have had Martinelli instead of Odegaard? March didn't play. I have him in mind for the double game week. Holland, Kane was also a big one for me because I think a lot of people didn't have Kane.
I think I'm going to put him back in. I took
Yeah.
him out ages ago, but I know Spurs don't double in any of the game weeks coming up, but I think they play in the blank one, a blank one anyway, and he just seems to score. Even when Spurs don't play very well, he always seems to get points. So I've got Salah, so I'm thinking get rid of Salah, get rid of Nketiah, and then I'm putting Saka and Kane.
Yeah.
And then I can take out Darwin for Tony when the double game week happens.
I was thinking about this, and I don't know what I'm going to do because I don't know if I should just use my wild card to get
A lot of people are using their wild card next for this game, like this game week coming up.
Yeah.
A lot of people are going for a game week 26 wild card, but my problem is that I don't plan far enough ahead. So I'm not going to, I'm like pretty happy with my team. And if I can make a couple of changes to a -4 rather than, you know, using my wild card, then I probably will. But I think that's probably why a lot of people are much better at this game than I am.
Yeah, I see people with like spreadsheets and planning out all of the transfers, and I was like, wow, that looks amazing. And I actually have held off making any transfers, and I'm either going to roll my transfer or wild card. Like there's no in between. But we'll talk about our teams in a bit. I do want to ask you, I asked you earlier today, one player that you want to buy and bring into your team, and you said Ivan Toney. So walk us through this one.
I think the double in 29 is, albeit quite a difficult double. They have shown that, you know, he can score against anyone. The Fulham at home fixture's nice, and the double in game week 27 as well. And like, I know both of those are away in game week 27, but against Everton and Southampton, you would back him to score against both of those teams, home or away. So I think I might leave him for this game week. I haven't got him in my team yet. I did have him and I took him out for Darwin, just like a 1 week punt. Now I probably will keep Darwin for this game week just because there are other players I probably want to get rid of first, like Eddie Nketiah and I think Mohamed Salah. But I think those fixtures and for that double game week, and I know obviously there's this hearing that he's got, but that's not coming until April. So until we know an official date that he might be banned from, then I will still be keeping or looking to bring him in probably for game week 27 onwards.
Yeah, he's on my radar as well because of those two doubles and the fact that Brentford don't blank in game week 28. Looking at my buy option, and here's where I kind of am like in between my decisions. My buy is that I'm looking at Ollie Watkins from Aston Villa, 7.3 million, only 7.2% owned, so he could be a good differential. Aston Villa also don't blank in game week 28. They have a double in 29. One's against Chelsea, but at this point, I feel like anything could happen against Chelsea. And then you have some pretty favorable fixtures. He has 5 goals in his last 5 games. Though one thing that maybe I'm a little bit wary of is that he's outperforming his expected goals by so much. And he started 5 of the last 5 games, 5 shots on target, 4 shots off target. So he's really getting into key areas. And in my team, I have Holland, who I'm not selling. I have Harry Kane, who I'm not selling. And I really want to bring in both Tony and Ollie Watkins. So I'm not really sure which one to go for at this point in time. So that's kind of like what I'm thinking about for the next couple of game weeks. What do you think?
I like the idea of Ollie Watkins. I think at the moment it's so hard because everyone's got Haaland, and everyone's probably going to keep Haaland. And then a lot of people have got Kane as well. So you really only have one other option. Now, I don't have Kane, but I want to get Kane. And once I get Kane, I then only got, again, one other forward line. And, you know, the only thing that's more appealing about Tony, I mean, Ollie Watkins is in better form. 5 goals in his last 5 starts. That's ridiculous. but the fixtures, I suppose Villa and Brentford are very similar in that, you're not really sure what you're going to get with them. Sometimes they're absolutely brilliant, and other times you're thinking in a game and they should have won, you're like, what? I think just the purely for the two doubles, and because, when you look at those fixtures, Leicester away can sometimes be a tough game. Obviously, Chelsea away should be a tough game, but might not be for them. We don't know. But I think I'm saying more towards Tony just because of the double. The double in 27 and the double in 29. But I like the idea of Ollie Watkins. I wish I was brave enough to put him in my team, but I just don't think I am.
Yeah, the thing is that Ivan Toney is quite highly owned because he's at 28%. So if you don't own him, maybe you're missing out. But if you have Ollie Watkins and you have that differential, and then I don't know, I feel like I've gotten so jaded, like from the double game weeks, that it doesn't usually end up working out for me. So I'm thinking, should I just focus on just like general game weeks and try to think of who is the best over a longer term period? Because I got totally like messed up with this past double game week, bringing in these Liverpool players, and then Gapco didn't do anything, and Tarkowski either. So that's kind of where I think. But let us know in the chat which one you would go for, Ivan Toney or Ollie Watkins. And that brings us to your sell, and you've mentioned his name quite a bit, Liv. But your sell is Mohamed Salah. Talk us through that one.
Yeah, I basically put him in because I was like, I didn't really have anyone that had 2 games this game week. I didn't really have many players that were even playing. So I had to take out a couple as well to get in Salah, and there was no one really I wanted. Man United are obviously playing well. The Bournemouth at home fixture is obviously a lovely one, but then they blank in 28. Then they've got Man City. Like, look at their fixtures. You're basically going with Mohamed Salah for the Bournemouth at home fixture in game week 27, and that would be it. I know he's got 2 goals. 2 goals, 1 assist in his last 5. It's okay. But again, Liverpool, I know they won yesterday, but didn't really look. They won it in the last 20 minutes, didn't they? So I'm just not. I bought him in for the double. But the good thing is with Salah is that I've got the money in the world now to do what I want with him, because I'm not keeping him for Man United at home. I will not be having him for game week 27 or up until past game week 30. Now, if he does well in these game weeks, I might be more inclined to bring him back in after game week 30. But looking at those fixtures, there's not a chance I'm keeping him. And I don't really see why many people would keep him, given the form of other players and the options in midfield as well.
Yeah, and I think the thing that I've always felt with Salah this season is just for the price point, I would want him to be absolutely banging in the goals how he has been the past couple of seasons. And for 2 goals and 1 assist in 5 games, it just for me seems like you can spend your money a little bit better elsewhere. So that's why I didn't even bring him in. I didn't have the money. I was thinking about it, but I've just always kind of had, that feeling about him this season. For my Gapco, how come I can't say his name?
Gakpo.
Gakpo. Gakpo. I brought him in as a differential for game week 25. I was super convinced about this. Didn't go well at all. 7.8 mil, 5.5% owned. And like Liv said, the fixtures just aren't there right now. He's on my bench at the moment. And you don't want to have so much money on your bench typically. And so I'm low-key thinking, like, when do I use my wild card? But we'll get into that. So his last 5 games has 2 goals, 0 assists. His expected goals 1.94. He started 4 of the last 5 games. Of course, in the double game week, he did not start, which I was upset about. 3 shots on target, 2 shots off target. So really, he's not getting into as good areas that I really thought that he would be. And I just feel that you have so many better options in that midfield. I would be looking at your Arsenal assets like Saka. I'm thinking of James Maddison as well, if he's deemed fit, because Leicester don't blank in 28. I was also thinking about bringing Bruno Fernandes back into my team as well. So I think that there are just a couple of better midfield options that you could bring in. So, Liv, this is your current team.
Mm.
Walk us through it. What changes are you thinking about making?
So, I mean, Kepa in goal. I've got Kepa in goal. I've also got Nick Pope who've Man City away. So I'll probably keep the double Chelsea. Ben White's obviously an obvious one. Estupinian's really annoying because I've had him for weeks now and he's got me returns near enough every single week. So I'll be really disappointed if he doesn't. And if he doesn't, then it's either Trippier away at Man City or James Tarkowski away at Forest. So I don't really know yet which one I want first on my bench because I think there is a high chance that Estupinian does miss out. Bournemouth, Martinelli, Bournemouth, and I'm probably going to have Saka as well because I'm going to take out Nketiah, which then means I can still have 3 Arsenal. Rashford and Mitoma, still the same. Haaland, Darwin. And I'll probably have Kane. I think I probably will take a -4 this week and get Saka in for Salah and then take out Nketiah and put in Kane because I think that's what I want long term. And there's no point me waiting. I'm not really bothered about having Nketiah. Watch him now score a hat-trick against Bournemouth. But yeah, I think captain's armband is going to be maybe on Saka. I think out of that team, if I put Saka in, Bournemouth at home, I could put in Martinelli. And Martinelli's been really good form. Playing really well. I will not be captaining Haaland, I don't think. So yeah, between Saka and Martinelli for my captaincy, I think.
Is that because you think that Saka or Martinelli are in better form? Or are you trying to get ahead of people? Because typically when Haaland's available, a lot of people just put the captain's armband on Haaland.
Yeah, I mean, he scored a hat-trick the last time he played. So actually, was it a hat-trick or did he get 2? Can't remember. But I don't know, with City, it's really hard. Sometimes, they put 4 and 5 past teams and other times they just really struggle. Newcastle defensively haven't been as solid as they have been this season. So maybe I will go Haaland. I don't know. I haven't thought about it enough. I feel like it's going to be a Saturday morning decision, providing there's no early game.
Yeah.
That is obviously the early game, isn't it? Man City against Newcastle. So I don't know. Maybe I'll decide later. But right now, when I'm looking at those fixtures, Bournemouth home, I think it's probably got to be Saka or Martinelli.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm leaning as well. I currently have my captain's armband on Saka.
Yeah.
I have a bit of a decision headache. I don't really know what to do. So right now, Shaw might have an injury. I couldn't find any other information or update on him yet. So that's going to be maybe a last minute decision thing for me. And then I have Trent, White, who I'm playing. And then Trippier versus Man City and Tarkowski versus Nottingham Forest were the ones that I was iffy on because I have Solly March in my team. He's also dealing with an injury, so I don't know if he's necessarily going to be fit.
Yeah.
I don't think I want to start Gakpo after everything that happened last week, but every time that I've done that, then they go on and score. And then Mitrovic as well. I thought that he looked good versus Leeds midweek in the FA Cup, so I was thinking, do I maybe bench Tarkowski and bring Mitrovic into my team? And then the rest I'm pretty set on, Saka, Odegaard, Rashford, Haaland, Kane. So it's really, what do I do about the defense? Do you have any thoughts about my team? What would you do?
I've obviously got Trippier and Tarkowski as well on my bench. I took out Shaw last week just because I needed someone that played, and obviously he didn't play. But I don't know. I might have to play one of them, not out of choice. If Estupinian plays, obviously Estupinian starts for me because I think he's a brilliant FPL asset at the moment. But I'm going to have to make the same decision. I don't want to play both Trippier and Tarkowski.
Yeah.
I would, Solly March, I think, is the obvious one there. Obviously, if he's out, then yeah. But if he's not out, I think I would much rather play March and have one of Trippier and Tarkowski on the bench so that if March does play, or even Mitrovic, one of the two, I would have one of those two starting. Obviously, Mitrovic, if Marco Silva comes out and says, he's going to play, then he's going to play. And same with De Zerbi. He might come out and say Solly March is fit to play. But I would much rather have one of them two in my starting 11 rather than relying on Trippier away at City and Tarkowski away at Forest. because I'm going to probably have to have one of them come on, but I would much rather it be Stupinian if he's fit. So, yeah, if I was you, I would play one of Mitrovic or March and then just decide whoever you want first on your bench. Or you could play both of them, play Mitrovic and March, and have Trippier and Tarkowski on your bench, so that, you know, if whatever reason Mitrovic and March both don't play, then yeah, okay, they'll have to come on. But or Gakpo and one of them will come on. But I don't reckon starting both of them is probably the best idea, I think.
Yeah, that's kind of how I was feeling, and I've just been like constantly changing the team. So this was just like a point in time of where I had my team at, because I keep going back and forth, and I'm like, well, I could see Tarkowski potentially keeping a clean sheet versus Forest, but what if he doesn't? I don't know. So I do think I'm leaning towards just sticking with my team for this week, and then maybe having 2 free transfers going into next week. But I kind of need to do a bit more planning on my side as well, and see like double game week 29 and how I deal with that. But that's basically where I stand on my stuff. Hope you guys liked the graphics because they took me forever. I'm not good at making graphics. And now we have some questions in the chat. So we'll go through all of them. Are you going to risk getting Tony in? Liv, you mentioned that the hearing isn't until April, so until then, probably safe to have him.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with him, because you know that Thomas Frank will play him right up until the last moment that he can't. So I'm probably not this game week, but I'm probably going to look to get him in for the double, for the 2 doubles in the 3 game weeks, I think it is. So yeah, until they come out with a date that he will then not be playing, I think he's a brilliant FPL option.
And we have this interesting comment from Richie, Captain Rashford, who we've always said form over fixtures, and he is in fantastic form, but the fixture just looks.
The only thing with Liverpool is that, yes, okay, they've been way below their own standards this year, but I feel like it's just a game where you're just not quite sure what could happen. You know, it's a game that Liverpool could just get really up for. It's a game that Man United could just carry on playing how they're playing and get the win as well. So I'm not going to be captaining Rashford. I just think there are also equally as good players that are in equally as good as form of Marcus Rashford with much better fixtures. So if we're adding form and then the fixture as well, I think Saka and Martinelli are probably, maybe Saka mainly, Saka or Haaland. I mean, Newcastle at home isn't a great fixture for City, but that Bournemouth fixture for Arsenal, I feel like it's too good to ignore for the captaincy.
Yeah, and maybe a lot of people, like I said, will go for Haaland, and then you have a differential if City don't do well. The thing with City that I find is so hot this season is that they have like a good game and they'll put 4 past a team, and then they'll just have a game where they draw or they lose randomly or they score 1 goal, and you just don't really know what's going to happen with them. So I'm kind of leaning towards captaining players other than Haaland at this point.
Yeah.
Looking at a couple more questions. Do you think Iheanacho is nailed on to start?
Yeah, I think so. I just want to have a look at Leicester's fixtures, because if Leicester score goals, he seems to be the only one that does. But then again, when James Maddison plays, obviously it's James Maddison. I know he didn't play in, is it the last game he didn't play in?
Yeah, I think he was injured.
Yeah, I think James Maddison is always injured. But I think if you're going to go, if you want like a budget forward, he's only 6.2 million. And obviously got 2 double-digit hauls back-to-back, and then obviously blank against Man United and Arsenal, but they are Man United and Arsenal, and they've got Southampton, then Chelsea at home, then Brentford, then Palace. So it's a fairly nice run of games for Leicester. If you want someone for that budget and you haven't got that much to spend, then I think he's nailed on to start every game.
Yeah, so it could be a good option. The thing for me is that it's what I said, like I already have Haaland in Kane, and I kind of know like I only have that one spot, so I think I'm leaning more towards other players for that third spot. But it could be an interesting differential as well, especially since Leicester don't blank in game week 28.
Yeah.
We have a comment regarding Luke Shaw. He has a small injury. We hope it's not too bad. We have to see how it develops until Sunday, game week 26, away to Liverpool. So we'll be monitoring this one. I think I'm just going to keep him in my team, and if he doesn't play, then whoever's on my bench will just come on, I think.
Yeah.
We have a question from Michelle. Do you think something?
I
think Michelle, put your question. We have another one, Shaw to Ben Me.
Yeah, I actually really like the look of Ben Mee. I don't know what Brentford's defensive stats are like, but I know he gets up there for corners, doesn't he? He's actually quite a threat from set pieces and stuff. And we know Brentford, they're very good on the counter attack, but they're also very good from set pieces as well. That is a transfer I was potentially looking at for the double game week. It just depends on how many transfers I have and whether I want to wild card, or I haven't really thought through my chip sort of strategies for the next few weeks. I'm sort of swaying towards not using one, but if I wanted to get players in the double game week, then I think sure to Ben Me, especially because Man United blank as well. I think they blank, don't they? Do they blank? Do they blank again or not? I can't remember.
Brentford. Hold on, I have it open. Brentford don't blank.
No, and Man United blank.
Oh, Man United, yeah, they do blank.
Yeah, they blank again. So I think that's sure to Ben Me. You're getting rid of someone that hasn't got a game for someone that's got 2 games. So I think that's a transfer. I think a lot of people will be looking at Ben Mee over the next couple of game weeks for sure.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking over the next couple of game weeks at. It's hard because Brighton have 2 doubles, but they blank in the middle. But I am looking at Estupinian, as you know. I have March in my team. I'm looking at Tony. I'm looking at Ben Mee from Brentford as well. I think those are like the 2 teams that really stick out. And then I'm trying to look at teams that don't blank in 28 and might also have a double in 29. So it's quite difficult. So I have to have a real think about which players I want to get into my team. It's a hard one. I really haven't enjoyed it so much this year because I just feel like there's too many doubles, there's too many blanks. It's not straightforward as it has been in the past years, it's just like too much.
No, it gets more and more stressful as the years go on.
Right. I'm like, why do I do this to myself? Like, I'm just stressed. I had a dream the other night that I made my transfers because I am on this other FPL stream and the girls make fun of me because I always make my transfers super early and they're like, Ellie, don't make your transfers yet. I had a dream that I made my transfers already. I was like, what? Why is this taking over my life?
Yeah, nice. Tell me about it.
Well, I think we got to most of the questions. We've been going for almost half an hour, so Liv, I'll let you go. I gotta take the puppy for a walk before my next stream. But Olivia, thanks so much for joining. Let everybody know where they can find you.
Thanks for having me. I'm at Olivia Buzaglo on Instagram and Twitter as well. So yes, that is where you can find me.
Amazing. So guys, make sure to follow Liv. She does so many cool things. I loved your video with Aspie and the dogs. I was just
it was a very, very fun shoot. Yeah, it was a very
Chelsea plus dogs. What else?
It was great.
So guys, hope that you enjoyed this stream. Hope that you found it useful. If you did, make sure to drop it a like, sub to the channel, and I have a lot of content coming out over the next couple of days, and I'll also freaking be in London this weekend for the Leeds game, so that's also very exciting as well. Okay, hope you guys have a great rest of your day, evening, whatever time you're watching this, and until next time, I'm out. Bye.